In this video, I will introduce three ETFs in the US stock market that you can add to your portfolio even if you're just starting out. One ETF has even earned an average of 27.2% per year in the past 5 years. Now, if you are just starting out with investing in ETFs, one important thing to know is that you need to watch the expenses involved in owning the fund. Here in the Philippines, we have mutual funds that charge management fees as high as 2%. Now, the only ETF in the Philippines so far, the FMETF, charges 0.5% management fee. In comparison, one of the funds that I will share with you in this video charges only 0.03%, 94% lower than FM ETF. You can really save a lot on management fees in these US ETFs. The good news is you can buy these ETFs in platforms like Etoro or Gotrade. The great thing with Gotrade, the Robinhood app for non-US residents, is you can buy these ETFs for as low as $1. Now, this video is not supported by Gotrade or Etoro or any other platform, so please support the channel by smashing the like button and make it turn blue. It really helps the channel grow, and I really appreciate it. So let's get started with these three US ETFs with a quick intro for beginners to ETF investing. Now, ETFs are managed funds, so they're like mutual funds, but you buy the shares in a stock exchange. In general, ETFs are more cost effective than mutual funds because there are less fees to pay, they're faster to process, and performance is easier to monitor. ETFs are a good way to quickly build a diversified portfolio. So if you're having a hard time deciding which stock to buy, buy a few ETFs first while you are learning the US stock market. That's the advantage of commission-free trading. Now, it gives you flexibility in building out your portfolio. You can make adjustments as you grow and become a better investor. The first ETF that we will cover tracks the S&P 500. This is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF with ticker symbol VOO. The S&P 500 is the most followed index in the US stock market. So it contains 507 top US companies. So when you buy the VOO ETF, it's as if you're buying the 507 companies that make up the S&P 500. Now, there are a lot of ETFs that follow the S&P 500, but the advantage of the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF is it has the lowest expense ratio at 0.03%. It also gives a dividend yield of 1.37%. So it's not all growth. You will get quarterly dividends at 1.37% per year. And it has given an average 5-year return of 17.68%. So let's check out VOO inside Gotrade. So you can see my phone screen here. So let's go to search and type in VOO. So you can see there, Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. Then there is the Vanguard S&P 500 Growth Index ETF. Then there's the Value Index ETF. So we're going to look at VOO, so just the standard S&P 500 ETF. So right now I'm recording this on June 21 before the market opens. So per share of Vanguard S&P 500 is $382.82. Okay, so you can see that yesterday or the last trading day was going up and down. The past week, the S&P 500 has been going down. For the past month, it has actually been going up before last week's tumble down. For the past 5 years, the S&P 500 has been moving up steadily. So it's been a steady bull market for the past 5 years in the US market. Let's go on to the next ETF. So the next ETF that we will tackle is the Invesco NASDAQ 100 ETF, ticker symbol QQQ. So QQQ tracks the NASDAQ 100. So NASDAQ is like the tech index of the US stock market. So when you buy QQQ, you will own mostly US tech companies. Now it says here mostly US tech because there are a few companies that are listed in the NASDAQ that are not US companies. QQQ has a higher expense ratio of 0.2%. So if you notice, it's still lower than FMETF, our ETF here in the Philippines. It also has a lower dividend yield of 0.52%, but it has a higher average 5-year return of 27.2%. So you don't buy QQQ for the dividends, you buy it for the growth. So checking out QQQ inside Gotrade. So currently it's at $342.63 per share. So the past week it's been up and down. The past month it's been climbing, and in the past 5 years, like the S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100 ETF or QQQ has been on an upward trend. And the last ETF that we'll cover in this video is the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, ticker symbol SCHD. So the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF tries to track as closely as possible the total return of the Dow Jones US Dividend 100 Index. So when you buy SCHD, you will own blue chip dividend payers. So if you like dividends, then this may be the ETF for you. So SCHD has an expense ratio of 0.06%. So it's lower than QQQ, slightly higher than VOO. Now it has a higher dividend yield. So among the three, it has the highest dividend yield at 2.72%, and it has given an average 5-year return of 17.15% in the past 5 years. So it has grown slightly lower than VOO, but it still has very good returns in the past 5 years. But it has given higher dividends at 2.72%. So let's check out SCHD in Gotrade. Tap SCHD. So you can see there Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. So the per share price right now is $73.97. So the past week, SCHD has been going down. The past 3 months, it has been going up before it went down last week. And for the past 5 years, similar to the S&P 500 and QQQ, now it has been going up like a rocket. So which one of these 3 ETFs is the best? Well, let's compare their performance. If we go to Yahoo Finance, we can search for the ticker symbols of these ETFs. So here we have VOO, and we go to chart. So you will see the performance of VOO for whatever time frame that you want to study. So for example, if you look at the last 5 years, so VOO has been going up in the past 5 years. If you want to see their performance all time, so like in here, I think they have data until the start of 2010 or the end towards the end of 2010. So ever since that point, VOO has been going up. Of course, there was that big drop during the pandemic. We can also use the comparison feature of Yahoo Finance to compare it against the other ETFs like QQQ. All right, so let's choose a different color, maybe black for QQQ. there. So you can see the massive growth of QQQ. Let's add SCHD. Let's make that red. All right, so SCHD has more or less performed a little lower than the S&P 500 and much lower than QQQ. But remember that SHD gives higher dividends. But it's also important to look at the performance of stocks or ETFs that we're comparing across different time frames. Because if we say go down to the past 2 years, so we can see that SHD and VOO have more or less almost the same performance, but QQQ has got up higher. But if we go to the year-to-date performance, this past year, so as you can see, QQQ has actually lagged behind the S&P 500 and SCHD. So it's not a matter of choosing one, but I would suggest that you mix and match depending on your needs, depending on your preferences. You can even dive deeper into each of the ETFs. So if you want to see what is inside, so let's check out Schwab ETF. Let's see what's inside Schwab. You can see the fund details here. So when we click on portfolio, you can see the top holdings. So for Schwab, the top holdings are Home Depot, IBM, Pfizer, Pepsi. So these are the companies that actually give dividends. You can see here that the percentage of assets, they're very close to each other. So these are the top 10 holdings of SCHD. When we jump to Vanguard, the S&P 500, so again, portfolio, and these are the top 10 largest holdings. So you have Apple, Microsoft, so the FANG stocks, Alphabet, Amazon, Facebook. You have Berkshire, JP Morgan, Tesla, Johnson & Johnson, and NVIDIA. So it's a mix of tech and a couple of blue chip companies. So when we go to QQQ, the top 10 holdings of QQQ are, of course, tech companies. So again, you have the FANG stocks, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, Facebook, Google, NVIDIA, PayPal, and Intel. So there is some overlap between QQQ and S&P 500, while with SHD, you can't find the tech stocks because the tech stocks, in general, most tech stocks don't issue dividends, or they issue very, very low dividends because they use the earnings of the company to grow the value of the company. So they reinvest back to the company and make it more valuable on a per share basis. So again, let's quickly summarize the characteristics of these three ETFs. So in terms of number of stocks, the S&P 500 has 500, so they have more stocks. QQQ and SHD both have 100 companies in their portfolio. VOO has the lowest expense ratio at 0.03, followed by SHD at 0.06 and QQQ at 0.2%. Dividend yield, highest is SHD at 2.72%, followed by VOO at 1.37% and QQQ at 0.52%. In terms of yield, QQQ is the highest. In terms of 5-year return, the average 5-year return, then QQQ has 27.2% annually, VOO at 17.68% annually, and SHD at 17.15% annually. If we look at year-to-date returns, SCHD, as of the time of recording of this video, SCHD has performed better at 20.76%, while QQQ is at 9.23% and S&P 500 at 13.94%. So personally, I would suggest that you get a mix. So for me, I would get a little bit more of SHD because I like getting dividends, but I also love the potential for growth that QQQ gives and the stability the diversification that VOO has. So I will definitely be having these three ETFs in my portfolio. It's a matter of weighing which percentage, what percentage to allocate for SHD, what percentage for QQQ, and what percentage for VOO. So right now, my bias is towards dividends. I will have a higher percentage for dividend yielding stocks and ETFs. So I hope you learned something in this video. I hope that helps you get an idea of which ETFs you can buy for your portfolio. And if you have any questions about ETFs or investing in the US stock market, you let me know in the comment section below. Also, I'm interested. Are you going to buy these ETFs or not? If yes, let me know which ETF you will buy again in the comment section. If not, let me know why. What will you buy instead? So please let me know in the comment section below. If you have not yet done so, please smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm because it helps the channel grow and I really appreciate it. If this is your first time here in the channel, welcome to the Dealmaker channel. Consider subscribing to get more videos like this. Make sure to hit the notification bell button so that you'll be notified whenever I release new videos. If you're new to investing in the US stock market, check out my free stock investing playlist, and you can also check out the latest stock analysis video that I have done in this channel. Always remember, it's always a great day to make deals, and may all of your deals push through. See you in the next video.